Again, of course, extremely poor performance against North Texas. A few things to me, us that stick out. Staff and turf players are run-o, still inefficient, run defense, getting off blocks, supporting it with safety. We had some of our safeties are making a lot of tackles that on paper look good to you, but they also led the team in missed tackles. So the defense is set up where those linebackers and safeties can show up and make plays. So statistically, some of those numbers like, hey, here's a leading tackler looking good, there's still the opportunity to make a few more plays. So we want to keep getting good play out of the backer and safety position because our run defense has got to pick up. Our run offense will look schematically, but as much as anything, we've got to create some speed and some force, just some attitude coming off the ball, and running backs getting behind their pads and quit trying to be so cute and fancy. And, of course, we'll get a stout defense this week in Penn State, and we'll talk about those guys. But we got to get behind our pads and play better run-O, run-D. Turnovers and score zone got us again. We get there in the first half on the 20. We get a fumble. For the year, we got 7 touchdowns out of 13 chances in the scoring zone inside the 20, and you want to click at about 70, 75, 80%. We're barely 50 as far as scoring touchdowns, and we're losing games where you're losing games by 3 and 7 points. You'll continue to be in some close games as we get in the Big Ten play, and we're not going to win games when we're moving the ball. You know, a stat we always did was yards per touchdown. I think we had over 400 yards the other night, bulk of it, of course, in the fourth quarter, but we had 2 offensive touchdowns. So that means for every 200 yards, you get 7 points. And you'd like to get that number in the 70, 80, 90 range. We're actually pretty good, I think, in the conference in first downs, which means we move the ball. But you don't get points for moving the ball. You get points for crossing that line with the G and getting in the end zone. So we got to work on that. +2 in turnover ratio, which is nice. Had the ball on the ground several times that we still could get. It's happened twice, and we're trying to teach our guys how to play hard. Guy signals for a fair catch. That doesn't mean the play's over. It just means you can't hit him. But we break that. We don't get in a breakdown position. The ball hits a guy, and then we're a little late reacting and not getting on a fumble. Happened at Virginia. Happened the other night. We talked about it once, hadn't got that corrected. But we are +2 in turnover ratio. It is unusual to be plus in your turnover ratio in your 3 losses. We have an even game, and 2 games we win the turnover ratio, and yet we lose. Typically, you're going to win those games. So we'll keep bringing that to the fold because that's going to help us down the stretch. Our fourth quarter finishes are nice. But our lack of play in the first, second, and third quarter, both O and D, is alarming to me. So you sit there and look at it as a conditioning level. Well, why are you playing good at the end of the game? You know, so again, I know our guys have worked hard, know we're capable, but it's taken us way too long to hit our stride. Special team play's been good. Ewald did miss a field goal. It was in the win 49, but his first kick with their great returner, we kicked it to him, was out of the end zone. No opportunity. Did a great job on a couple of the onside kicks. Got one, gave us a chance on the other. And we actually drew up the third one. It never practiced. Said, try this on a bloop the other way, and gave us a chance. Another guy I want to point out, I think is doing good for us is all the young freshmen, is Matt Dooley. I don't know if you saw anything in spring, and you guys are limited, but we really didn't have a snapper on campus, and he's came in and for a 4-game fold. We had guys that snap, but they weren't snappers in spring. It was not very good. It was almost something you didn't want to practice. And Matt Dooley, we have another guy, Zach Young, both those kids. Those are 2 nice ads, so Matt's doing well. Some cats that played well for us in that game. Mark Murphy had a nice game. For young guy, he's playing out of position. As a safety playing backer, but he's battling. He's one of our toughest guys on our defense. Thought McMetzer came in and created a little havoc. Didn't have a bunch of plays, only 21, but did well. Chase Hubler, same deal at backer. Didn't have a lot of plays, but when he got in, played well, but only 3 guys there. Offensively, Dusty came in, did nice for us in the fourth quarter. Of course, they busted a couple coverages and helped us, but he was fortunate to take care of it. Keep bringing him along with Ed. I thought Jamon Chester, Chris Chester was playing last night for the Redskins. Jamon Chester did a nice job coming in for us there with 8 or 9 catches. And again, a guy I've been saying all along that we should be getting more out of. When I'm talking guys I think should be producing more, he's been one. It's nice to, wasn't surprised he did well. I'd like to see him practice better because he's capable of helping us. And Cody, for a young guy, Dre Muhammad stepped in, did well. So again, that's kind of a recap of North Texas. A couple things moving forward. Again, I don't like talk a lot about, but we keep bringing it up. So bring some closure with some things roster-wise, injury-wise. Again, Hager's out for the year with the knee. End of his career. He will not pursue a medical, and will go ahead and graduate. Nick Freeland gets operated. Our kicker, who was going to be our long guy, our kickoff guy, his ACL thing where he got just in a breakdown deal, got a knee several weeks ago. He has a surgery this week. Leon Beckham is in the process of getting back, but not practicing, so we're still probably a couple, 3, 4 weeks out before we know we've got Leon. Don't know if we'll get him during the month of October. We'll see as we get 2 and 3, 4 weeks out. Last week, DeMarlo had a bone bruise and didn't practice Wednesday, Thursday. Didn't travel. Deweese, Wilson, Kofi Hughes are fighting some nagging gigs where they're limited in practice. They're both still limited yesterday. Very little work as those guys worked yesterday. So we'll hopefully get those guys back. I would expect DeMarlo looked like he had a chance Monday. The other 2 guys looked gimpy. So we'll see how that plays out. Love to get them in the mix, but we still are fortunate receiver with the young guys and Chris Chester, Dre Muhammad. We can throw 4 or 5 out there. Roster-wise, you guys have asked about Willis. Again, I've been told he has an injury where he can't play, and it's possibly going to be declared a medical hardship, but that's the Big Ten that approves that. We're in the process of putting that into place, so his career is basically over. Chris Bush last week did, after talking with his parents, family, decided not to play. And like I mentioned after the game, I think to Dustin, I mean, we got a lot of respect for him, what he's done, number one, serving our country, which is highly unusual, and very few, if anyone in this room's done that. But then to come back as an old person, when I say old, 24, 5, 6-year-old guy trying to play football, I mean, he's made some great sacrifices. So wanted him to stay, gave him opportunities to work through it, wanted to work through it, but he just felt where he was in his life, he wanted to go on and just get his education. And during preseason, we didn't talk about Tim O'Connor and Xavier Whitaker came in and said they didn't want to play football anymore, so they're not on scholarship and not on the team. So that's with that. And last thing before we take questions this week, we are doing October's breast cancer deal, or not Cancer Awareness Month, and we're doing a big deal for that. We'll have some things that we do in our prayer. We talked to our team about it yesterday. Most of us will be touched by it. I know I lost my mother. Most everybody's going to be touched by it. Either you have been or you're going to be, whether it be personally you or a sibling or a wife-to-be or a parent or relative or grandparents we go through. So it hits so much of us. So that being said, we're not doing it to raise money, but just as we fight our fight through the season, showing respect for a lot of families and people that are fighting their fight. And so we're not really doing it to raise funds or generate dollars, but to be supportive of October being the Cancer Awareness Month. So a little something with that. We'll have a few things that we'll do through the week and talking about it, and you'll see some things that we're doing, and hopefully it'll be done in a very respectful and classy ways to so many people within our community around the Big Ten region and whatnot. So what we got? Answered all, we're good? Again, better practice habits to lead to some game habits. We're playing some young guys who are learning how to play and playing through things, and we got some old guys I just think have some their urgency and attention to detail and practicing the way you need to play just is not there. And so we'll look this week as we go through practice here today and tomorrow, just as not necessarily shake our team up. My comment yesterday, we're talking about cancer awareness, cancer awareness, and whatnot, and people fighting fights. Your football life's terminal. And my deal was, if you got 8, 9, 10 weeks of your football life left, how would you like each Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, into Saturday to be? How would you want to walk off that field every day? Your attitude, your experience, your joy, the way you play. And we've got to work hard. We're not a good enough football team, and no team is, that you can't work hard. Same time, we'll look to shake some things up in practice and the way we're doing things to not lose our kids physically, emotionally, mentally as we move. We've got to keep building. We've got to give ourselves a great opportunity to win Saturday, great opportunity to win each and every Saturday. We need these seniors to have a great experience down the stretch. So that being said, offensive line, we're playing some young guys. They got to keep battling, playing through it. Some of them lack a little size, girth, strength. That being said, we need to create some velocity and force coming off the ball because we're not going to overpower people with brute size and strength right now. Old guys, they need to get a loving feeling back in the way they're going about their business instead of going through the motions, because as they go through the motions, the young guy, by evaluation, is just as good as the old guy. I've got more value in playing the young guy, and that's not slamming the old guy. The old guy's got to earn his right. Like I say all the time, every team is led by the seniors, and right now we're being led in a way that's got us a little bit where we are. I'm challenging those guys, not pointing fingers. Let's lead this team strong down the stretch and make these last 8, 9, 10 weeks of your football life, getting ourselves in position to be a bowl team everything we want is still in front of us, and we can accomplish things that haven't been accomplished here in quite a while. So even though we're struggled and don't have the results we want, there's a lot of things to play for. Do we have the fiber, the wherewithal, the passion? Will our seniors go after it? So we reached out to those guys, had a quick meeting with those guys yesterday, reached out to those guys in a positive way. Look forward to having a great practice for Monday. Look forward to this week and how we go through playing Penn State. And it's not a bend but not break defense. They don't give up big plays. And because they're stout enough up front that they can play in sound passing spots where they are vulnerable for big, susceptible, wide open plays, they make you throw it on target, make you catch it, make you protect, because along the way they're playing great run defense. 249 yards a game, 12 points a game, 11, something like that, one of the best score defenses in the league. So they're playing. So we'll have our hands full. But at the same time, we're not going to win games scoring 20 points like we've been doing. If we have one issue, it's the ability to, no matter what they're doing, get a defensive stop, making them kick field goals, and us quit kicking field goals and bogging down and getting touchdowns. And it'll be a huge challenge because they're a heck of a defense.